Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching from. Okay, my name is Bongani Jamela. I'm an Etiquette of Life coach or mentor. If you don't know me, if you're new to this platform, we did announce our collaboration with Sanji last week that we'll be collaborating. He's a meditation coach, and I delve into real life situations, self reflection, growth, hostility, just a number of things. So, yes, today we'll be talking about self reflection, managing expectations, and recognizing what not to expect from others. Sorry. Maybe Sanji can introduce himself again.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you, Patricia. So, we welcome everybody. Thank you so much. And for people who are watching this video also later on. So, I'll just give a brief summary. Uh, I'm also I'm a meditation teacher, and we do spiritual life coach, guidance, counseling, and there is some life coaching involved, but Patricia is our life coach expert. So this is more towards like spiritual side, and then there's like we help people come out of addictions, and we do a lot of charity work as well as even we do things like suicidal preventions. Uh, so the idea we got together is to make a safe space like this, so people can join, or in another time, no, they can listen to this, and we want to share uh, freely our expertise because we all have been learning this for years on, no. So we would like to share and give something back to the society, even the world, and try to make it a better place for everyone. Okay, Patricia.
Yeah.
So over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sanji, for that intro once again. Like I said from the beginning, our topic for today is self reflection, managing expectations, and recognizing what not to expect from others. Okay, I know many of us, we're all humans, we have expectations at some point in our lives, but you realize that sometimes if those expectations are not met, we kind of feel sad. We we sometimes we may not have those boundaries on how to manage them. And I'm very big on reciprocity. Um, what you give, sometimes it's not always what you receive, but it doesn't stop us from being good people. It doesn't stop us from sharing or spreading the love, because you might receive that love from people that you generally don't expect, but sometimes if you receive it from the people you expect, which is also good. So through self-reflection, through personal experience and learning from others, I came up with these expectations on that we can reflect on. And the first one being, don't expect others to be perfect, because we're not perfect ourselves. You may look at someone and expect them to be this kind of image, but not realizing that they are human beings. No matter what good things they do, they are bound to make mistakes. They are bound to make bad choices, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad people. It just means they've made bad choices. And there are people who are not good people too, but it's not our place to judge, because we are not perfect ourselves. So it has to start with ourselves. It has to start with being that change that we want to see. So expecting someone to be perfect, in my view, is not being realistic, because you won't be perfect yourself. So I don't know if Sanji has one or two, how that can align with meditation, how that one can manage, because we've got a few of these, we've got about 10, but we'll try to just summarize a bit so that people have a bit of a perspective or understanding how not to manage to have big expectations, because we are humans too and we make mistakes, and um, realizing through growth and self-reflection. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, Patricia, actually, thank you very much for selecting this topic and doing the research and getting
Mm.
prepared. No, so Yeah, self-reflection is a very important thing in ancient practices also. The reflective process is always there. Self-reflection as well as while you're on the path and when you're practicing also. Even they have asked to reflect on our main basic necessities, no, like the food we eat, or the dwelling we are staying in, and then the medicine we take, even the clothing we wear. So uh, through reflection, yeah, there's wise reflection and even unwise reflection, right? Some people can think and then get huge ego factor, right? It's like you see
Yes, yes,
yourself in
yes.
the mirror, no? So some people
Yeah,
can see,
yeah.
oh, that there's something here, I can clean it up or do something. But some people, "Ah, most beautiful person, or other person is so, like
So true.
happens, no? The same reflection, but some person might
Yes, yes, yes.
like, no, oh, there's something in my eye, I had to take it, so
I.
can be damaging, no? So,
So
yeah,
true. Yeah.
when you say about expectations, so true. In deep spiritual aspects, it says, if possible, not to expect anything. But I think in
So
a
true.
worldly scenario, it's difficult to be, because but the more
Yeah.
we expect, it is kind of a way. If we, it's not like 100%, no, like we don't totally give
Mm.
100%. So there's something.
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes we say like, "You're welcome," right? Because you do
Yes, yes,
a lot of
yes,
it,
yes. So
and the
true.
other person doesn't say even thank you or something in any language. I mean,
Yeah.
right? Then some
Yes,
people
yes,
just to
yes, yeah.
show their point, they say, "Oh, you're welcome,"
Mm.
no? In a way.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
the
So true.
partners, no, husband and wife, or parents and
Yeah.
children, or teachers and students. So yeah, I totally agree
So
with you.
true.
Yeah, more we have expectations and sometimes selfish expectations, no? Sometimes you
Mm.
see like within partners with the demands they have, right?
Mm. Mm.
You should do, no,
Mm.
this should happen.
Y-
But
Yes,
sometimes
yes,
the
yes.
other partner, they try their very best, but they have
Mm.
so much high standards and expectations,
Yeah.
cannot keep up,
Expectations.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So
Yes,
true. You
please,
say that
please,
well. Yeah.
please continue, Patricia.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay, for that. That's quite deep. That's quite deep. That's why we always encourage in these talks that self-reflection is quite important because you can see someone on someone's eye, but you also have probably your scars probably on your legs, or they're covered and not anyone can see them. So yeah, it's true. The second expectation would be don't expect others to read our mind as we may find it equally challenging to understand theirs at some point in their lives. So yeah, sometimes it's not always going to be the case that you can read someone's mind, whether someone close or someone far, so it's vice versa. There'll be situations, regardless how you know them. Sometimes you may not read what's on their mind. They'll be going through stuff, whether they communicate, you be having a certain perspective on that. And if you don't have that patience just to understand the next individual, put yourself in that person's shoes. How do you want people to understand you, whether you're willing to talk about it or not? But at some point, people will never understand you, whether it's through circumstances or situations that might have happened in your life. You know, um, Another expectation is don't expect them to always be around, as there'll be times when we won't be readily available all the time. Life happens every day, things happen. There are certain seasons where we wish we could be there for people all the time. Yes, some people are consistent, and when they don't receive that back, it hurts them. But that's the reality of life, that it's not every season that I'll show up and be available. It's similar to the previous one, that don't expect to read someone's mind because you might not know what's going on or what's happening. When you start to reflect on your own, you have the grace or the sort of like the wisdom to kind of understand the next person, whether they share or not. But you just find that peace within you, that they're human at the end of the day. I'm human. I'll go through things that change you as a person, So yeah, I don't know what are your thoughts probably on the last two or one of them that I've spoken about, Sanji.
So true. Like we meet sometimes couples, no, and they come and talk and
Mm,
about their disputes,
mm,
and some it's
mm,
kind of like unfair also because they want the other to
mm.
read their minds. One time I remember there
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
a young couple, and but
Mm.
I don't want to say which gender or anything. I'll just
No, no,
mention.
no, it's fine. No, it's fine. Yeah, yeah. This is a
Uh,
safe space, no judgmental. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so there are because there are from both sides, no, and any gender this can happen, right? So
Mm,
this one of the partners they wanted to get something for the birthday and actually gave the other partner options, no. So this person was trying to do the best for the other one, but this person was very
mm.
upset and you should know, no, like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
how would you know if there's a variety of things like 10 or
So
100
true.
items? How would you know
Yeah,
exactly which one you would like, right? Need some
exactly.
people
Yeah.
exact because to read minds, Patricia, in spiritual world or like ancient practices, you have to build jhana and maybe go to the forest and
Mm,
live as a hermit.
yeah.
A very powerful mind. Some people have that category uh, from past lives. They bring that skill. So sometimes they may be not meditating in this life, but they know they can feel, they can more
Mm,
sensitive. Some
mm,
like they build
mm,
it up. There are very powerful mind states, and there are some extra things also to do. And then they can read
mm,
other people. But this is like maybe one in 100,000 or one in 1 million maybe person. Even if they
mm,
practice, some
mm.
people they cannot get that because it's like a
Yeah,
journey.
yeah,
You have to master it over the time of like lifespans. So some people, even if
yeah,
they
yeah.
try it, so then how could you expect in modern society? Okay, we can see some person's emotions and what is happening. Are you upset? All these things, but you cannot expect them to read their minds. They are not psychic, so
So
no.
exactly. So
So why
true.
not? I mean,
So
you
true.
might say I'm really upset.
Communicate. Yeah. Express
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
Why are you not talking to me?
Mm,
Why are you not calling me? Why are you not
mm,
messaging? So simple, right?
mm.
And if you
So
like,
true. Yeah.
you feel upset and you're looking as not even talking or something in a family scenario or a partner
Mm,
relationship, it
mm.
very bad for the others, no? Sometimes even
So
like
true.
when they don't even know what they did wrong, right?
So true. Always encourage the importance of communication because you cannot read someone's mind no matter how long you've known them. People grow, people change, perspective changes. So I totally agree. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
These are very nice points, Patricia.
Yeah, thank you, Sanji. The next point, being the fourth point, is don't expect them to live by your standards, is we may not be willing to live according to their standards.
Mm,
Everyone has standards as an individual. So if you know as an individual you're not going to be able to live according to the next person's standards, don't expect them to live according to your standards.
mm,
Sometimes we do have the attitude, oh, life is about me, yada, 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 yada. Yes,
mm.
if it's your fantasy world, it's fine, but you don't live alone, you live with a community, you live with people. So if you know that you're going to have those boundaries that, what, I may not be able to reach this certain expectation, that's fine. And yes, sometimes there may be hard feelings. We're all humans, we have feelings and emotions. But when you take a stand and realize that what am I giving on the table, if I'm not going to be able to live according to their standard, don't expect them to live according to your standard because we're all different people. We all perceive life or view life in a different manner. Sometimes, yes, there might be need for compromise. I guess based on the type of relationship it is, but that's another thing that is important on self-reflection. Understand that you know what, this is a journey. Yes, it might be an individual journey, but also understand the next person because they are still human.
Mm.
Um, the fifth point being letting go of the assumption that they will always love us the way we love them, recognizing that there are times when we may not extend that love to specific individuals. I've seen a lot of this in relationships, probably couples and friendships, where you may love someone to a certain extent, but they don't love you that way, or they don't see you that way. And to be honest, it does hurt. It does hurt. But when you accept, you move on. And when you realize that also you as an individual, there are people that you may not like or might not probably share the same sentiments, which is normal. For all human beings, we may not love or like the same thing. So when you realize yourself that, what, I may not like my partner's green dress, don't expect them to love your black sneakers. That's totally fine. Whether it's on materialistic things or the values that you share, your values may be different, but you might not be on the same page on certain things. Even friendships, you can find that the friend that your partner is friends with, you might not necessarily be for that person, and that's totally fine. We're human beings, we have different likes, and when you get to understand and appreciate what you love and value, you are going to appreciate the next person, even if it's not for you, but understanding that, okay, it's for them, I'll respect it. And yeah, so I don't know if you want to add on something or share
Yeah,
your views on that, Sanjay.
there are some even like we are talking about like normal scenarios. Uh,
Yeah.
One question was I'll just ask them like in a simple way. But so there are young people who have PTSD, think PTSD, and they fall for the wrong person, and they expect them to do, but sometimes they are just physically used up and they discarded. So it really happens. They are, and these people also like go after these kind of characters because it seems very attractive, no? And they have done so much research, surveys, lot of things, and then they see there are some people like who are like really damaged mentally because of this seeking affection. I just wanted to ask, like, very simply, Patricia, like, okay, we are talking about a normal scenario, maybe family or even couples, no? So there can be in this lineup,
Yes.
there can be many topics. For example, in a work environment, so then
Yes.
there are some musts that should happen, right? So if you are working in
They are
some,
somewhat sorry.
there are some things that must happen. No,
Okay,
like
yes.
no. So if you are in a school or say you are
Mm,
working for the military or someplace like that,
mm, mm,
there are some things like so. Then in those scenarios, these things how it applies, it varies a little bit, right? But here we are
mm.
focusing on more like a normal scenario, like where couples are there or a family environment, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. It can vary, no, into according to those situations also.
Yes. It does. It necessarily doesn't have to be a relationship. It can be family, it can be neighbors, it can be friends, colleagues, also, like you mentioned.
Mhm.
When I spoke about relationships, it was just an example, just to kind of have a perspective. But yeah, it's quite broad, even kids with parents, or vice versa. So yeah, it's quite wide, it's quite broad.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
added it. Yeah. But this is so
Okay.
yeah, we go.
All right.
There's so much things to cover, right? So, but we go in one line.
Yes.
We go in like that. This approach is totally fine. Eh?
Yes. Okay. The next point being, don't expect them to be the same person they were a day, a month, or years back, as we have also changed. I think many of us sometimes struggle with this. You hear someone saying, "Oh, you've changed. Oh, you're no longer the same person." We tend, I don't know if I can say, we tend to forget, or sometimes we don't realize that we change, whether it's through circumstances or situations, or we have outgrown certain habits. Probably someone knows you as someone who has been outspoken, who speaks so well, and then after 10 months, when you guys meet up, you realize you're now on the quiet side and they don't understand and they probably feel you have changed, So probably so much would have happened whether you choose to share what changed you, your views in life would have changed and your perspective. So I always encourage that. Ask yourself that are you still the same person you were 10 years ago? Obviously not. You have changed the way you think, the way you do things. Yes, probably certain things will be the same, but when you embrace change, because we always say be the change that you want to see. If you want the next person to be happy, or start with that happiness. If you want the next person to greet you and they greet you, they're smiling, you should start that. You should initiate. Let it be an individual thing. Don't wait for the next person to smile at you when you greet them. Whether they decide to give you a cold shoulder, that's up to them, but be the change that you want to see. So self-reflection on change is quite important because we evolve every day, we grow every day. And when we embrace the next person, understand and give the grace that, you know what, we're all humans, we're going to have different sentiments at a different time, then yeah, we learn to, I guess, appreciate each other and understand whether we are still together in that season of friendship or family or colleagues. That's all right, but not to regard someone in a bad perspective. Sometimes we may not understand people's story or situation because it's not everyone who wants to share or talk about what's happening. So yeah, I don't know if you want to say something, or I can just move on to the next.
Yeah, so just this. So in this the teachings and all, it says about perception, Patricia.
Yeah.
So perception means like the faculty we have to identify something. So say like a school bully or somebody did something, say somebody borrowed some money, they just forget about it, or like they just
Yes.
avoided you, it happens, right? Or
Yes.
did
Yes.
something bad
Yes.
even.
Yes. Yes.
So it says like after even 20 years, you see this person. And then because you don't have a new data feed, no? You didn't even see,
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
see this person on the road or see on the internet or something, and then quickly that old perception comes out. Hey, that's it, no?
Yes.
Or anything, no?
Exactly.
Then
Exactly.
out. But this is the same identification we use for other things, but like you said, so true. We have to know like
Yes.
the change that happened. This could be one of the best
Mm.
people living on earth now, right? As a student
Yes.
or a child, maybe
Yes. Yes. Yes.
without knowing would have been a bully or something, right? But now,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
so yeah, definitely we should
They're
understand.
totally
But some
so
good
true.
person
So
also
true.
can change to the opposite also, right?
So true. They can, and you may not understand why they're so mean all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Thank you, Sanjay, for that. Um, the next point being, don't expect them to agree with us, to agree with everything, as we may not agree with everything they say. This is quite also a challenging one, because sometimes we want people to agree with us, be on the same page with us, but you realize yourself that you may not agree with someone, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person. It just means you have different views, you have different opinions, and that's fine. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us a community. So when you stop having those expectations, I just wish they could agree on everything, even in relationships, with families, with friends, with your boss. You might not agree if your boss is saying you should wear formal, because you probably do not like formal wear, but because that's his rule in his company, you have to take that. If there's a way to negotiate, you can, if it allows that. So we kind of have to identify the little things. Oh, okay, I might not agree with the next person, because when sometimes that person who agrees to everything, their tendencies of being a people's pleaser sometimes, but not everyone might see it that way or recognize themselves as a people's pleaser. Sometimes those boundaries are kind of important. So yeah, um, the the eighth point being, don't expect them to always understand us, as there'll be times when we won't understand them. I think it's similar to one of the points where We spoke of change. You may not understand someone. Probably they're going through something, they behaved in a certain way, or you're not used to the way they present themselves, and you're wondering, okay, what is going on? So I think the same thing that you mentioned, the importance of communication. If there's open communication to try and understand the next person, because you'd want someone to also understand you as an individual. So it starts with ourselves, understanding that, okay, there are times where people might not understand me, and that's perfectly fine. We're human, and that's just the journey of life. So yeah, I don't know if you want me to move on, or you've got something to add on, or a scenario.
Yeah. Maybe like you continue, please, and then I'll add
Oh,
on some viewpoints, even from ancient times. Yeah, please.
okay, no, it's okay. The ninth point, being our second of last, don't expect them to support us, and as there will be seasons or times when we won't support them. This one is also another tough one, because we always expect people to support us, especially if you're that person who's always supporting people. And if there's a season when they don't support you, you might feel heavy and realize that probably people don't care about you, whether they explain to you or not. It's not every season where someone will show up in your life, whether that person is close. I think here, it when we speak about such situations, it doesn't necessarily mean a relationship, work. It could be anyone. You probably know your mom will show up every 2 weeks to come and see you, but that month of November, they decide not to show up, so you realize that, okay, probably she had another commitment, or you, as yourself, when you're reflecting, you were not able to show up for someone. So you kind of realize that, okay, if you're not able to show up for people or for close people around me, it's okay when they don't show up, whether they give it. Hopefully, an explanation is usually nice, because it gives you comfort. But sometimes we don't get those explanations, and we kind of have to figure out things for ourselves, like, oh, okay, why didn't they support us? Why didn't they do this? But if you do get the communication or the reasons, it's good. But if you don't, sometimes we're encouraged just to you soldier on, and probably one day they'll come back and you address that situation. If not, then yeah, it can be a tough one. But that's just one of those things that we face in life. So yeah, and the last one, being the 10th point, is um avoid anticipating they'll treat us the same manner we treat them. Avoiding anticipating that they will treat us the same manner that we treat them. It goes back to realizing how we treat the next person. It goes back to speaking about the change that we want to see. So sometimes, whether you treat people in a good way and you don't get that in return, it will sting, it will hurt, but it's the journey of realizing growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth is going through sometimes the same thing and realizing that, what, I probably handle it a bit better. Some people call it maturity, some people call it growth, some people call it self-reflection and understanding. So how you treat the next person, whether good or bad, it doesn't necessarily mean they'll treat you that way. So this whole process of self-reflection and managing expectation, for me, or how I came up with these ideas or these situations, was me myself as an individual. If I don't continue having those expectations, it helps me manage things. I don't have to expect the next person to be perfect. I don't expect the next person to be the same person the way 10 years ago. I don't expect them to show up for me all the time. If they do, great. If they don't, then we have to soldier on with life. But everyone has their own perspective. Someone who probably will listen to this video will probably think, oh no, I do not agree with them. That's perfectly fine. We we all view things in a different manner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably summarize at the end when you are done with yeah.
So these are like these 10 categories. These are things that came to your mind, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
very nice. So it's very
Yeah.
helpful and very well lined up, no, and very well explained.
Thank you, Sanjay. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Coming into self-reflection, they have showed like sometimes it's associated with ego also. Ego
Hmm.
also. In one of our programs, we are going
Yes,
to
yeah.
discuss about ego also. So in
Yes,
depth.
yes, yeah.
And uh, so the thing is like some people they feel entitled, no, and they expect, like you
Yes.
said, no,
Yes,
and it's
yes,
very
yes.
difficult to sometimes find what are the boundaries. But I think over the course of time,
Yeah.
through experience, even sometimes bad experiences, sometimes there are even animals, no,
Yes, yes, yes.
they they come to you and they sometimes they ask for food continuously, but you don't have or you don't know, or
Yes, yeah.
there are children who are crying
So
or
true.
no? So they expect you to do.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes it cannot be done. No, you do your best. But even in adults also there are some people like who feel very entitled, or very trying to be
Very
very
entitled, yes.
no, there are. So I think sometimes they have to learn it the very hardest way, sometimes with
Yeah.
confusion. No? So
Yes.
uh,
Yes, yes,
in a
yes.
way,
So
like it
true.
journey and understanding, sometimes like life lessons teach us a lot. And like we started these
So
programs,
true.
we said like even if we have high expectations, sometimes we are in a very positive mind, but then
Yes,
we
yes, yes.
goes down. Sometimes people can feel upset, no, because you're expecting a lot. But what if we do the opposite,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
We were joking and we were
Yes,
telling
yes, yes.
we start from minus, right? And then zero
So
is a,
true. So true.
all that above is also plus. So one countermeasure I
So
found through the time, Patricia, it was like to start from the most smallest place, which is true, right? Which is, and there was some
yes, yes, yes.
neighbors also. They just started building a house long time ago, some time ago. They just started with the kitchen as well
Mm.
as the washroom. That also just with clay. So usually people try to make the front
Oh
part
wow, that's
out, and then
yes.
they think the visitor should have us, or they should see us properly. Otherwise, they will think we are poor or something. Uh, but these
Mm.
people started
Yes,
from,
yes, yes.
now it's like a big mansion. Like they started every year, they
Yeah.
something, and now it's
Yes,
like a
yes.
big
So true.
two stories house, a well structured, well made.
Yes.
But still, also they have not painted the front part. Really, after all this
So
time,
true.
they have put some covering,
Yeah.
coating, or some maybe
Yes.
seal or something. But it is not to show off. So maybe inside they are
Yes, yes, yes.
made very well. But
Mm.
see, like
Yes.
so. Likewise, if we like in any circumstance, we can have our ideas, we can have our targets, and all these things. No, but if we start small, like one step at a time, that will
So
take us
true.
in a huge journey also, right? And
So true.
some they say we usually should do some sports, Patricia. Then when you run like long distance, no marathons and all, they say like if you
Yes, yes.
from the far end, you know that is where you have to go, but it weighs you down. But if you
Yes, yes, yes.
step you are running at that time, then it's not so tiring, and it actually keeps
So
you
true.
ahead.
Keeps you going. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
like
You will
life,
challenge yourself to do it even more.
in your educational journey, maybe work environment or anything, if you take one step at a time, it's very easy. Then people don't have to
So
go
true.
the opposites also. Then we'll just mention some opposites also. People can be stressed, depressed, no, anxious. Uh, even sometimes they
So
just
true.
burn out, no, because the expectancy was very high. I remember when we were schooling,
Yeah.
there was young boy of our class, and just 1 mark, he didn't become the first of the class. He just collapsed.
Yes.
He just became the number two. Yeah, just by 1 mark. And
Wow.
he right. We didn't even know like why he fell down. No? But later over the years,
Yeah.
it's kind of
He didn't
sad.
take it well. Yeah.
That's just 1 mark, and
Shame.
every time he became like number one first. But this
So
time
true.
another one came because just by 1 mark. And then what happened? That
So
little
true.
uh, young boy, he just collapsed. Then we got to know his mother was like
That's sad.
really pressing, like pushing him, taking him to classes, and
Yes.
I think a lot of pressure. He just collapsed. So
He
in
didn't
a
take it
way,
well.
so if you now I look back or after some years when you look back, like maybe their family history, I think their father was not present. So the mother was carrying a lot of weight.
Oh,
So maybe she wanted
yeah.
children to be better.
The
Yeah,
bit is
better.
so true.
He was like
I can
really
imagine. That's
pressurizing
a tough
them.
pushing him to be
Uh,
the best in everything. Shame.
yeah, yeah.
Shame.
So,
That is tough sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That
Some
is
people,
tough sometimes.
even because of expectations and they were not fulfilled, some people even like
Yes.
it's very tragic.
Suicide, they do because it's like you're trying. I don't know if it's perfectionism.
Yes.
You set a certain standard for yourself, and when you don't reach that standard, it crashes you. It is a double-edged sword,
Mm,
actually, because yes, you do thrive to be the best in everything that
mm.
you do, but sometimes when I think embracing failure, sorry to divert a bit, it's
No, no, no.
quite broad.
Work on all
When you
and all.
yeah, when you embrace yeah. Yes. So when you embrace failure as growth, not failure as in you are a failure, but embrace failure as part of life and growth. You embrace and take life as it comes, that there'll be seasons where you fail, there'll be seasons where you fall down, but realizing that you pick yourself up and you continue to move. So yeah,
Mm.
shame. Sorry about that kid.
Yeah, yeah. It's very sad, and
Yeah.
then sometimes with the beauty
Yeah.
pageants, or even sports, or even like achievements, or some
Yeah.
examinations,
Mm.
and some people to really lose it, right?
So true.
Happens, no?
They do. They do.
Mm.
They do. It can be tough. It can be tough,
Mm.
but
Once
yeah,
I saw incident,
no,
Patricia,
it makes
the
sense. I'll
mothers
just
mothers have sent the child to a beauty pageant. This is a little child, like a doll, no? And then it was very bad.
share.
He didn't
Yes,
win.
yes, yes.
And then they have abused her, and she passed away.
Shame.
Yeah, yeah, it's so tragic. Yeah, really.
Wow, that's so sad.
This
Very
is a little
tragic, yeah.
child who doesn't know anything about these things, no? And she was like all this makeup and everything,
Yes,
like
yes.
a doll, no? And and then she was like paraded and to
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
pageant. And but she didn't win. And the parents were so upset that I think they beat her, and then she tragically passed away. Yeah, yeah. But like,
Wow.
they got
That's so
caught up.
sad. Wow. We're hearing so many sad stories.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Please continue.
Shame. Shame. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay, no, I'll just summarize. Or just summarize as we about to end shortly. So basically, managing expectations can be a liberating journey of self-reflection. We often find disappointment in the gaps between our hopes and the realities of what others offer. However, genuine peace comes from acknowledging what we cannot and should not expect from those around us. Do not expect others to always understand our feelings, our struggles. Each person carries their own unseen burdens and perspectives. Expecting constant validation or agreement from others may also lead to unnecessary tension. Everyone's individual journey shapes their own beliefs, how they view life, and there'll be moments where they will not align with how we view things. It's important to let go of the need for external approval in every step of your way. Um, By recognizing what not to expect, we create a space for gratitude, healthier boundaries, and deeper connections rooted in accepting and be realistic and understanding things around us. Let's continue to self-reflect. Let self-reflection guide us in refining these expectations so that we can focus on what really truly matters: personal growth, genuine compassion, and the pursuit of our own unique path.
Oh, beautifully said. Yeah. So very nice. And I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
So there are sometimes we have to expect, say, for example, we see some danger, for ourselves or somebody.
Yes.
Then we have to
Yes.
do this. Sometimes they say, silly games win silly prizes, right? Or stupid. No?
Yes.
So
Yes.
then we should know that is wise reflection, right? Or that is wise
Yes.
reflection. But like you said,
Yes. Yeah.
you have to learn how to be content. But
Yes.
that
Yes.
doesn't stop you from your life goals or achievements in a very positive way.
So true.
And we should
Yes.
know
Definitely.
how to become number two even or number three, right?
Yes.
It's not always
Yes. Yes.
winning, no? And
Yes.
to take the winning part away. But I saw Patricia in Japan and all for little children until about the fifth class, as I remembered. They don't even
Okay.
test and
They
mark.
don't even what? Sorry.
They don't have exams for them.
Wow. Really? So
Very, so they
how
don't.
do
They
they taste?
fall into the rat race, right? So they like our topic. They teach them etiquettes, and then even like clean the classes, all these things. They teach those good things. Then after that, from
Oh
there,
wow.
they start the examinations processes, those kind of things. Because now
Wow.
even the smallest of children, they are put into a race, and this race is sometimes of the parents, no? So
Yes.
so if, and they what happens is like, and everything is given a prize, these classes, no, and all these things.
Mm.
Or and then there are even some coaching systems, no. Okay, like I'll make you the
Yes.
best, no, best player. That's
Yes.
why some players they take some how to say, like things that are banned substances, right?
Oh yes.
You want to be
Yes.
number
Wow.
one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they try to take it further and further, no, even in bad ways. So
Wow.
as normal human beings, or as because our how to say, peace of mind, happiness, we can
Yes.
improve ourselves or be prosperous and all these things. But we should know, like, because otherwise there's no limit, right?
Yes.
Where are
Definitely.
you going to stop? What is the limit? No, now they are going to moon. Now there's
Mm.
Mars. So that won't
Yes.
even stop people, right? Uh,
So true. So true.
yeah,
Yes.
because there was even who would go first to the moon, right? And it was
Yes.
like a race, right? So
Yes.
next time it will be who will be first going to Mars.
To
And
Mars.
so the
So true.
egoistic journey is very dangerous, but if you have it in a positive mind, and we have to teach our children also, okay, like you can say,
Yes.
and there was an ancient story, and because it can be related to jealousy, there were two princesses,
Yes.
like prince, and one was very talented, and the other one was very jealous of him. Huh? So the teacher,
Yes.
and he felt no like this, and they can harm themselves. Some children also, or they can do something bad, hide their books, or do something telltales. Officers also it happens, right? Or some families,
Yes.
they do something like some even bad mouthing about the family. Oh, they are like this, though they are wealthy. It happens like that, no? So the teacher, uh, he drew one line, and what he said was he asked like how to overcome this line without erasing that line. Huh? If there's a line, he drew just
Wow.
a line on the dirt, like
Yes.
he said, like you how to go further than this without crossing the line or erasing the line.
Crossing the line.
Without
Wow.
that, so erasing. And then the young stopped
Wow.
thinking, and then the teacher just drew a longer line. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, there can be people, we can try our best, uh,
Yes,
but
yes,
we
yes.
don't
So
have to
true. So true,
cross the
Sanjay.
other people's lines or try to erase their lines, right? We can draw our own line.
Yes, yeah.
But if it's
So
shorter
true.
than the other person's line, it doesn't really matter, no?
Yes, yes,
Because we
yes.
tried our very best for ourselves also we have to take,
Yes,
and for the others also, I think we will have to teach it, be
yes,
satisfied
yes,
and
yes.
content. But we try our very best,
So
right?
true. So true. So true. Yes. I agree. I agree, Sanjay. Thank you so much for that.
There are so many stories, so many things, and then in real life, it
Yes, yes.
are so many things, right?
So true. So true. There are so many of these. Yeah.
Mm. And I think like this subject or the topic you have selected is a broad spectrum topic, and if people are
Yes,
interested,
yes.
you can request or like bring up things, no? Because these are also like
Yes, yes.
topics themselves, no? Like
Yes,
self
definitely.
is one, then managing expectations another, then recognize
Yes.
oneself and the other persons also.
So
So,
true.
and these can be put in different scenarios: work, place,
Yes.
maybe
So true.
school system, or even relationship wise.
Work, family. Yeah, definitely. It's wide. It's quite wide. It's quite wide. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I agree.
it was but a wonderful topic. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you,
all the
Sanji.
listeners and
Thank you for your input too. Thank you so much.
then yeah, no, maybe we wrap
Okay.
up our.
We can. Okay. No, thank you everyone for watching or ever listened. Do share your views, your thoughts, and yeah, have a good one. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia, and thank you everybody,
Thank
and who will be watching after this also. And we'll be doing like weekly programs like this, so everybody is most welcome to join. And
Definitely.
we our coaches, they put a lot of effort and time onto these things to help many people. So I hope everybody can take the best use of these their valuable
True.
time and effort, and
True. True.
hopefully we can help also many more people also. So thank you.
Definitely. Definitely.
Have a
Thank you.
very good night or evening or morning, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.